Oh, yay. Okay. Hey, everybody. We are live. So I have Coach Annalise with me, and we'll wait a few minutes. But just in the front part, just want to let y'all know that during this time of the coronavirus, the COVID-19, whatever you want to talk about or call it, I just want to bring some positivity to your news feeds, but two, also because we know that you might be stuck for 3 weeks or 4 weeks or 5 weeks. And if you've been to the grocery store, you might see that it's kind of empty, and you're probably not out eating like you used to. So, what we want to talk about is just some cooking basics and some just basics in the kitchen. So, I'm actually in my kitchen right now. And I have Coach Annalise with me. Coach Annalise, as always, just tell about yourself quickly.
Well, forgive me for looking like Rudolph, guys. I've been out in the yard since couldn't leave the house. So I'm a little sunburned. Ignore that. But yep, I'm Coach Annalise, and today we're going to talk about some cooking.
Yay! So, and Coach Annalise, her background is you're a you've got like three things behind your name. And I always
Yeah.
Yeah. She's got.
I'm a dietitian. I have both my bachelor's and master's in dietetics. So yeah, that's it.
I know what you're talking about. So people are stuck in their houses. They went to the grocery store and they couldn't find stuff to make their regular recipes. What are yes? What are some things that we can encourage people that can last? I know we talked about prepping before, but maybe somebody might not have seen that. What are some things that we might can encourage for people?
So I would say, now's a really good time to clean out your freezer. You never know what kind of little gems you have hidden in there. I know that we always keep a solid stock of both frozen fruit and frozen vegetables because they're pretty cost efficient. And if you need something in a snap, like we always have it on hand. So hopefully, you have like a bag of broccoli or cauliflower hiding in the freezer that you can whip out and do something fun with. And then I know earlier we were talking about how, a lot of people are very dependent on recipes and, they like that step-by-step thing. But if you take this as a moment to like get creative with your meals and just kind of have some fun, like maybe you don't have a certain vegetable, you can swap it out with any vegetable. You can swap out some spices, like just get creative and play or creep around on your phone, see if maybe you can find, some kind of alternative recipe to what you typically do, things like that. I say it's kind of a fun thing. Get creative in the kitchen. I mean, I think I've said this 1,000,001 times, but most of what I cook it's planned based off of what I already have and what I want to use up. So, just go through your pantry, go through your freezer, your fridge, and kind of see what you got, and that'll kind of give you a good starting point.
Yes, I agree fully, and that's the thing. So for me, I have to sub out a lot because my body doesn't digest. So some people cannot take that. I say I don't eat butter. I just tell people I'm allergic to butter. This just makes it easier instead of going all the explanation of it. But the one thing that I found is I'm actually going to go get it real quick. I'm in my kitchen. I can because we're stuck home. Avocado oil.
Nice.
I love avocado oil, and I have a passion for it. And the reason why, because I think it has like a buttery taste to it. And olive oil is another one that I go to, or coconut oil. So if anybody has any questions or comments, you can put them in the comment. What oil do you go to, or what are some things that you're like, oh, we might need to sub out for that? Another one that I found is I have chickens. So I have eggs for days. I'm blessed on that. But if you don't have eggs, and maybe that one random time you're like, hey, I wanted to buy chia seeds. Like, yes. Everybody has like this random chia seed bag because they never knew what to do with it. And so it's still like, if you start, like she said, if you start looking at all your stuff, I bet one of y'all have chia seeds. But actually, chia seeds is actually a great substitute for eggs. And so that's something that we even did. This is actually some cookies I made the other day. They're protein cookies. because I got frustrated at looking at the packaged cookies and they taste like dirt. So if that is what your experience is those packaged protein cookies, those are awful. If somebody likes them, I'm sorry, but that was just not my thing. They tasted fake to me, I guess. So we talked about that. What are some of your favorite substitutes that you use?
So yeah, your chia seed, I've done that many times. Like if I'm one of the laziest people too. Like I will not go to the grocery store for like one thing or even two things. Like even if it's like I will find a way to not go to the store for that one thing. So the chia seed is good. You can also swap out like if you're out of oil. You can also swap out like applesauce, butter, Greek yogurt, like if you're baking, things like that. Just look up the ratios online. And you can kind of figure out, because sometimes it's a 1-to-1, sometimes it's not. So just kind of creep and double check those.
An infographic I'll put out there for substitutes that's really
cool.
good, that has helped, that I created, that has really it helped me too. I did it for myself, and I was like, hey, I think other people might want this. But it's like applesauce and making sure like your sweeteners, like your honey or your maple syrup, those are not a 1-to-1 ratio, because if you do it, you will make it really, really sweet. And then applesauce. And then the other thing is, I would say, is to know what you're mixing with. So I don't use coconut oil whenever I am doing like veggies. Some people do, but
I think that would have a funky taste.
Yeah, it has a sweeter taste. So the coconut has more of a sweeter taste, so I don't use that. I use my avocado oil because it has more of a buttery taste. So anytime I do that. Applesauce is great for baking, is what I've used it for a lot of the times. So I wouldn't suggest using it on your like substitute for oil for your veggies again. So
that would be nasty.
But
maybe.
If anybody's tried that, I will say that I love chicken and apples. Roasted apples.
Pork and apples. That's really good too.
I actually got it from a kid's baking show, and the kid said, you know, people say roast your nuts and stuff to get the flavors. He goes, roast your fruits. And so that's what I've been doing is roasting my fruits, and so that you can get more developed flavors. Just like if you had a Brussels sprout regularly, they taste interesting to some. For me, I like them roasted. I cannot So any questions by anybody? So that people are on there. What are your things that you want to make while you are quarantined? We'll wait for a second to see if anybody has any comments. And then one thing you can see, I guess it's on the other side. This is my toaster oven. I actually use this, and I don't even use my real oven. So this is a go-to, especially for making pizzas. Tortilla pizzas. I'll put it up again. My daughter did a video of it whenever she was probably 3 of making tortilla pizzas. Literally takes about 20 minutes. Literally takes about 5 minutes to make in total. Tortilla, put your pizza sauce, put your cheese, put your toppings. You just put it in, and for about 5 minutes, and that's a go-to. So just something I wanted to recommend on that one. And then another one is eggs are a great thing to use. I have chickens, so we get surplus, and so it's like, how do we use things in surplus? Anytime that you want to make anything fluffier, and it adds protein. So these cookies that I had, these have, I think, 5 eggs in it. 5 eggs, and then I did the chia seeds with it as well. So
awesome.
So those are some ideas and some things that we can do. What you know?
I've always got like different staples in our kitchen. Like I've always got dried beans on hand. I've always got oats. Sweet potatoes, even though they do go bad eventually, but those suckers have a very long shelf life. They can last a while.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like those are like the main things that I have on hand. You know, you can always, I prefer to make my own pasta sauce, but you can buy it if you want. Like so easy though. But
yeah, the interesting thing is with pasta sauces, like whenever you do try to make them, there's actually a lot of sugar to there's a lot to that. And I never realized it until I made my first one. I was like, man, this doesn't taste like normal. But pasta sauces don't taste sweet either, in my opinion. So it was very unique for me to figure that one out. I was like, oh man. Then you start looking at the labels and you can easily see where that does come in at. But
And that surprises me because, like, I really don't put any sugar in my pasta sauce at all. Like, I'm throwing some out right now, like I told you, for dinner tonight. I had it in the freezer, ready to go. Yay. And so, I mean, I've never put sugar in my pasta sauce, and I don't think I want to because I don't the flavor. I mean, to me, I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm not missing it. So,
mm-hmm.
and I mean, that's just me, though.
Yeah, I had my husband. He is one that whenever he's the king of the grill, and so anytime he cooks, if you use any type of like A1 or any sauce on his meat, or he can get offended, or salt.
Oh, no.
Because that means I didn't do a good job. I'm like, that's
Oh,
not
no.
anything negative about you. We're just saying that we like our A1. That's what we're used to. It's like kids with ketchup with chicken, you know, yeah.
No.
And so those are some things. So I guess the encouragement for this whole series that we'll be doing is each week or each day we're going to try to pop on. I don't know about tomorrow, but I know that we will on Wednesday. We'll have Dr. Dominique, who is a coach, and then we'll have Bonnie, I think, on Thursday to be talking. She is a counselor, and she specializes in kids. And so being able to deal with probably if y'all been stuck with, not stuck. We love our children, but we also have human contact, and this social distancing can do a little bit for us. So finding ways that it does not hurt our brains more than it should. So if I don't see any comments or anything, I will recommend. Oh, this other thing that I talked with in the space of until the end of April, we are going to be offering free coaching. So you can meet with Coach Annalise. You can meet, especially during this time, one, because it's great to be social distance from each other, but I also know the impact of social media on workforces, because that's what I usually look at is more of the corporate side and doing more with corporate entities. And I know that we are more connected on social media than ever, but we are more alone and looking at the loneliness and the depression on it. You need an outlet. You need a resource. We don't even care if there's kids screaming in the background. You may care, but we don't. So if you need somebody to reach out to, you need somebody to talk to, hit us up. Let us know. I will put in the banner Coach Annalise's, and you can go there and you can meet up with her. So, and what we're doing is we're waiving all the fees. So that you can
talk to me.
Come talk to her. If you need some recipe ideas, you need any one-on-ones, because let's be connected together. And that's my goal, is for us to come together and be able to talk one-on-one and have some human interaction. Because I know the times when I didn't have that, how it really hurt I've talked about openly about my depression and how I have that and how I cope with it. And having people is a big way for it. So especially in this space of being away from reality, per se, or our normals, this season of change, as we like to call it, how can we adapt to it? So, but I look forward to seeing y'all again soon. I hope you have an awesome and blessed day.